We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tăng thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, thịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giáo đạo ngã môn, như há liễu sanh thoát tư lý khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Suchedo Ye Lahudi San Miao San Puto Xie. Nam mô Tăng Nắc Tha Tu Ya Đa Ya La Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa ba hi qian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou chi yin jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master 6th Patriarch, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨六祖师父上人，各位出家人，各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa lục tổ Hòa thượng Tiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và các vị thiện tri thức Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 23rd of December 2023. Thank you all for joining us at our discussion of the 6th Patriarch Sutra. The last chapter we're discussing, the sixth chapter, is about repentance and reform. Let's see. We're starting the last week of the Chanchi here at Wei Mountain Temple. So it's time to last chance for all of us to become enlightened. All right, Sutra text on slide 100. Good knowing advisors, I exhort you all to take refuge at the triple jewel of your own nature. The Buddha, which is enlightenment, the Dharma, which is proper, and the Sangha, which is pure. Did we go over this? No reader? Okay, we just have to wing it. No reader. Oh, no Chinese readers? Okay, give the Chinese reader a few minutes. Okay.
劝善知识皈依自信三宝，佛者觉也，法者正也，僧者净也。
Okay, thank you. 101. So he says, the 6th Patriarch says, good known advisors, I advise you, I exhort you all to take refuge to the triple jewel of your own nature. Okay, and so his teaching is quite different from the typical teaching that you will hear from the Dharma masters out there. Okay, which makes it very, very special. Only he talks like this. I never heard anyone explain this this way. And so he says, when you take refuge to Triple Jewel, then and it's also part of your reform. You reform, you change your ways, and to change your ways, you will want to consider taking refuge to the Triple Jewel, because when you do that, you're taking refuge with the Buddha, which is your enlightenment, the Dharma, which is the proper, and the Sangha, which is purity. 102. When your mind takes refuge with enlightenment, deviancy and confusion do not arise. Desire lessens and you know contentment, and can distance from wealth and form. That is called the honored, the doubly complete.
自心归依觉，邪迷不生，少欲知足，能离财色，明两足尊。
Okay. 103 commentary. He says, when you take refuge with the Buddha is enlightenment. So you're taking refuge with enlightenment itself. So enlightenment is your awakened nature. Because you are enlightened, because you're awakened, you are no longer have deviant and confused thoughts at all. Okay, and this is what makes Buddhists special, in that they have no deviant and confused thoughts, unlike the rest of us. Until you become a Buddha, you still have deviant and confused thoughts. And that's why you want to rely on, this is the ultimate place where you can take, you can rely upon, okay, where everything is proper and there's no more upside down. Desire lessens and you know contentment. And this is one of the first things that the Buddhists are taught when they learn Buddhism. And learn Buddhism when you start on your road to cultivation. You should learn to do two things: lessen desires and know and be content, or know contentment. Okay, 知足. Okay, so you're taught to, because we have full desires, we learn to contain our desires, to lessen our desires. Don't let them run wild like a wild horse. You learn to rein in your desires, okay? And then along with that, its brother is contentment, meaning that you can learn to be content with what you have. It's very fundamental in the lifestyles of the Buddhists, okay? We have fewer and fewer desires, okay? And then we learn to be happy, content with what we have. Can you see the cycles there? Huh? When wherever you are, wherever you are right now, when the thought, the desire arises, you say, okay, instead of getting a Mercedes, I get a Toyota. Okay, that's less than desires. No? It's a lot less money. Okay? So that's less than desires. And then, once you get a Toyota, you learn to be content with a Toyota. Sounds good? Makes sense, right? And then, next year, when you need to buy a car again, what do? Why? Why you look at me like that? I mean, you never wanted to buy a car before? 6.
I said keep driving Toyota.
Keep driving Toyota, but you don't drive Toyota, you are not honest. She says, I will know contentment. I will not look for another car. That's contentment. Yes?
I mean, we can't afford to buy another car a year later.
You can? Oh yeah, that's true, isn't it? Okay, that's a trick question, but you answered. You got the right answer. Very good. All right. And so, do you see, so the cycles is really beautiful, the teaching. And you first rein in your desire, okay? Don't go wild, okay? Compromise, go lessen desires, okay? It's okay to have desires, but don't go crazy. That's the Buddhist lifestyle. And then, whatever you have, learn to be content, which then makes you have fewer desires. Isn't it beautiful? And that's so typical of Buddhist wisdom. The teaching is very, very simple and very practical. Okay? You can distance from wealth and form. Okay? And it's evidenced by the Buddha's life. Okay? Before he even became a Buddha. He was born and in a royal family, and he had all the wealth that he could ever want, and the father doted on him, and so, but he was never impressed, or never proud of his wealth, and was not clear about the form side of the Buddha's life. For some reason, the Buddhists don't talk about it, so we won't talk about it either. Okay, so Buddha typifies the distancing from wealth and form. Okay, and it's important for you to understand this, because the road towards the closer you are to that level of attainment, then you naturally have fewer deviant thoughts, fewer confused thoughts, fewer desires, and you be content, okay? And then you are not impressed by wealth and form, okay? And that's why you're called the honored and the doubly complete. Buddhas are called the honored, world-honored one, okay? So it's honored throughout the world and throughout the universe, throughout all the worlds. He's honored, okay, by the people in the know. Okay, he's very inspirational. So when you take a look at the Buddha, it's a different feeling, and very much like I am so inspired by my own teacher, Master YongHua. And it's kind of short, kind of dressed very shabbily, no designer clothes, and his sashes look real ugly, but he's so inspirational to me, so doubly complete. So he's really. So I'd like to spend the rest of my life honoring him because he's such a special individual who graced our worlds. Okay, doubly complete. Complete meaning that he's complete in blessings and virtue. How do you get to be complete in blessings and virtue? Anyone? How can you be complete in blessings? Take one at a time. Yes, three.
Thank you, Master. For the virtue is having a pure heart, and for the blessings is just plant unlimited or limitless blessings.
Limitless things, and virtues is what?
A pure heart.
Pure heart. Okay. Pure heart. All right. Anyone else? How do you become complete in blessings and virtue? How do you get there? That's my question. What did he do? What should we do to get there like him? Yes, 8.
세세생생 복과 덕을 짓습니다.
We create blessing and virtue life after life.
Sorry?
We create virtue and blessing life after life.
Life after life. Okay, all right, very good. JC?
Just giving. Just giving.
Just giving? Yeah, is that what I heard? Just giving. Okay, giving. Okay, very good. Anyone else? How do you become complete with blessings and virtue? DTT.
Master, should we practice the 10 parameters?
10 parameters. To do what?
To complete, to have complete virtues and blessings.
Virtues and blessings. Very good. Okay, what about JMT?
한 발 늦었는데요. 노스님께서 먼저 육바람이라고 대답하라고 하셨습니다.
The Albert told me to answer 6 paramita.
Who told her to answer? The husband told her to answer?
No, Venerable Shenzi.
Since he told her, he's favoring you. That's cheating. Okay, very good. Can't argue with that. Anyone else? How do you become complete with blessings and virtue? Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. On YouTube, Samson Lau says, by being content.
By being content,
And
okay?
Sophia Gu says, for blessings, there is nothing the Buddha will not give. For virtue, perfection of the 10 paramitas.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? Yes, in the back.
Master, is it perfect the universal worthy vow and conduct?
Universal worthy bodhisattvas vow and conduct. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Anyone else? Yes, 7.
Master, thank you. So in the Buddhist state, he's constantly generating blessings.
Okay. Buddhist state, but how do we get there? We're not Buddhists. How do we get there? That's the question. Yes, he's creating blessings, but how do we become like him? Yes, 6, 4.
부처님은 부처님이 되기 전에 수많은 부처님들을 모셨고 많은 세월 동안 인내를 했다는 그 경전이 기억이 납니다.
I remember that in some sutra I read, before becoming a Buddha, he serves many limitless Buddhas, and he endures for many times.
He what? Many times? The last sentence.
He endures.
Endured, I see. Very good. Anyone else? Yes, 9.
I'm just looking at the title of the chapter 6, repentance and reform, continuously doing that day after day may lead to that.
Okay, that works too. Okay. Let me explain it to you in simple terms that anyone can understand. What does it take to create blessings and virtue so that you can become a Buddha? Right? That's the bottom line. Buddhas are fine. We don't have to worry about them. I'm worried about you, okay, and me. All right. What I do, since Buddhas are way beyond me, okay, so what do? What Buddhas do is not something we can comprehend. You don't see them at all. Can't see them. Don't understand what they do, why they do it. So what do? Yes, JMT.
Endure.
Endure. Very good. Jumi, what did the old abbot tell you now? Okay. What do?
여기 노스님과 마스터지와 여기 여러 불자님들을 뵈니까 많은 희생을 하시더라고요. 그러니까 손해를 감수하는 걸 넘어서서 희생을 하셔서 그렇게 공덕을 짓고 그렇게 부처님이 되신 것 같습니다.
I saw 2 abbots, and then I found they sacrifice themselves. They take a loss and they sacrifice and create blessing and virtue.
Okay, so in Buddhism, we have something called the life stories of the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, And so they detail actually what Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do. Bodhisattva do to get to cultivate, and then what Buddhas did as well himself. Okay, so it's very, very fascinating to read these stories. Okay, but the way I look at it is very simple. Okay, I don't see what Buddhas are doing. I don't understand what Buddhas are doing. Okay, what I do understand is what Bodhisattvas are doing. I can see Bodhisattvas. Which Bodhisattva are we talking about? Master YongHua. So he's as close to the Buddha as possible. Right? So we watch him. So I watch him. So what does he do? What does he create blessings? How does he create blessings? And what's interesting to me is that for his entire life, I wasn't there the whole time, but all his disciples I talked to, they all told me the same thing over and over again. He never, for one moment, worry about himself. He's always helping others. To the point where this is so remarkable that he helped heal so many people. Every time you heal someone, your body gets sick. No two ways about it. Okay? Someone has to be sick. That's called cause and effect. If you create a killing karma in the past, now your turn to be killed. So you are being sick. That's the retribution. Yes? So him to heal it means that this person is no longer sick, is no longer dying. Therefore, he must be sick, he must be dying. Yeah? We all conveniently want to forget about it, want to ignore it. But us disciples, love from people, disciples of his, we watched it, we witnessed it. We witnessed how he healed people left and right, and then towards the end of his life, he was so sick. Okay, and he was doing it constantly, day and night. When he's lecturing, he's helping save someone while people are translating. He would be helping someone. Think about it. He would speak Dharma in Chinese. His disciples would translate into English. While they're translating, he's working, helping someone. And that's what he did. He helped people. He served people. The polite form is he served people. He helped people. He helped people left and right. Okay? And he never spent time to take care of himself. What's so interesting about it is he said, I will help people, and that's all we're going to do. So we, his disciples, see that, especially the monks who are enlightened, who saw that. Guess what? We all are so frightened. He said, really? You're supposed to die for this person? For her? Seriously? For him? So guess what? Our generation, we don't heal people at all. Because we saw what it could do to ourselves when we heal people. So that's what I learned from Master YongHua. Okay, he forsaked himself. That's how he created blessings, and he's pretty close to Buddhahood. That's why he's doing it. We can't possibly do it ourselves. Okay? Because he can handle it up to the age of 74, 75 when his body broke down. Okay? And so blessings is to help others, right? As a rule of thumb. But I need to qualify it for you. We could not do it blindly the way he does. He's a Mahasattva. We don't understand what really drives him. Okay, he's beyond our realms. Okay, but as was said earlier, we Mahasattvas like him, they create blessings and virtues by serving Buddhas. Simply put, they serve Buddhas. They have a boss that's called Buddhas. They're not working for themselves. They're not trying to become famous, trying to have a lot of temples. They all simply are serving their bosses. Is that clear? Yes, question from Jeju.
Master, in the meditation class, when I recite the medicine mantra silently to concentrate without any intention of healing any other person, but somebody said the shoulder got better. So in the result, without any intention, another person got cured with some shoulder problem. Does it mean that we will get sick? I will get sick also?
Probably go see a doctor. Just in case. Ask what the sickness was and go see a doctor, get a diagnosis.
All of those stuff.
This is not for pussies. Okay? We're terrified too. In my generation, we look at Master Shino, we're terrified. Not worth it to me. I'm not going to die for this. For a temple. For a car, maybe, but not a temple. Okay? And so you create blessings by helping, okay? By helping others. And helping others here, not just others, but by helping, the best way is to help Buddhas. All right? Is that clear? You help yourself, then you're not creating a lot of blessings. You help others, in particular, if you help the other Buddhas, okay, then you create tremendous blessings. So far, so good. What about virtue? Virtue is personified by him. You take losses, and more losses, and more losses. I explain it to you because we don't expect you to be able to do what he does. But it's clear to you that it's by degrees, right? We increasingly help more and more and more and more. And we have, that's how we create more blessings and more virtues, by taking more losses and more losses and more losses. Don't ever say that I have enough blessings, I have enough virtues. Is that clear? Don't ever say that, because that's not Buddhist. We never have enough. We're insatiable in blessings and virtues. All right? So at all levels, that's what we do. We create blessings, we help more and more and more and more. That's blessings. Virtues, we're taking more losses and more losses and more losses, more losses. All right? Then your wisdom will increase. Then one day you'll be skilled enough to be able to work directly for the Buddhas. Does it help? And very much like you join a company, you're not going to be able to work for the CEO or the president right away. You start as a janitor, and then, and courier man, and so forth. Okay? All right. Very good. So you see enlightenment here. Okay. What's so desirable about enlightenment is that everything is clear and proper. We have desires, lessons, and no contentment. These are the characteristics of wisdom. We're not talking just about Buddhas. We're talking about us. Okay? Buddhas are Buddhas. We are Buddhas to be. Okay? And therefore, for us to get closer and closer to our Buddha nature, this is what we need to pay attention to. Do less confused things. Okay? We know it's confusion. Detach yourself from it. Okay? Stop it. Don't go crazy with your desire, no contentment. Stay away from wealth and form, because those are very alluring. Yeah? Will bring you a lot of trouble and create blessings and virtue. More and more and more. That's simple. All right? 104. When your own mind takes refuge in the proper, there are no deviant views in any of your thoughts. Because there are no deviant views, there is no self, other, arrogance, greed, love, or attachment. That is called the honor, and that is apart from desire.
自心归一正，念念无邪见，以无邪见故，即无人我共高，贪爱执着，名离欲尊。
Okay. 105 commentary slide. When your own mind takes refuge with the proper, okay, you know it because you have no deviant views in your thoughts. Okay? And because there are no deviant views, okay, how do you know you have deviant views? It's because there is thoughts of a self, thoughts of others, thoughts of arrogance, thoughts of greed, thoughts of love, or attachments. That's how you can tell that you have deviant views. So we all have deviant views, don't we? It's not an accusation. It is a statement of facts. As long you have such thoughts, self, others, arrogance, greed, love, and you have attachments, then deviant thoughts will arise. Okay? And so that's why you need, okay? That's why you need the help of the proper, which is what? What is the proper? The Dharma. It's funny, but when I first started, there were a lot of people who came and practiced Chan very vigorously, and stuck around and said, I'm so happy, so happy, so happy. And the one thing that's common to them is they said, I don't know, I don't understand this Buddhism thing here, okay? But what I do know is that I come to the temple because you help me the temple, these lectures, these talks are helping me with my life, how to address my lives, the problems, solve the problems of my life, my family, my children, my husband, and so forth. Okay, so that's why we speak. That's why we spend so much time speaking Dharma to you, because it gives you the guidelines to get you in the right tracks. Okay, the Dharma is always about no self, no others, no arrogance, no greed, no love, no attachments, no scheming, no manipulation, no lying, no cheating. And that's, but as soon as these people, as soon they talked up a real good game, but as soon as I started insulting them, they all left. They're still self. Okay? It's not about talk, people. If you say you have no self, then if you really you want to learn about no self, then let me insult you and see what you're going to do. If there's still a self who gets afflicted or not. Okay? How about others? Great assembly Dharma. You come here together. Some people forget to take a bath. And it smells a little bit. That's others. What are you going to do about it? All right? Okay, Jeju.
Master, this is the 17 days of our fasting. Should we break fasting? Yeah. Should I break fasting after tomorrow?
17th day?
Yeah.
Already?
Yeah, already.
Oh yeah, they're a day ahead of us. You see? How do you feel? Xienan, how do you feel? Xienan looks so good.
No.
No, she looks so bad. She looks so full of energy. How about this? We split. One quits and one continues.
Me?
Oh no. I let the two of you decide among yourselves.
I think she should quit because when she walks behind, she looks too skinny. I don't know. Is it okay? She looks a little bit too skinny.
How about you? You want to quit too?
It's up to Master.
This is a lack of sincerity. Luckily, there's no sincerity requirement here for the proper Dharma. Okay? Okay, how about the newbie complete the 18 days? Okay, so one quits. What happened to the other? And what about the other? Okay, I don't want people to accuse me of being autocratic. I leave it to, let's take a vote. Everyone, okay? Okay, first of all, take a good look at this Xienan Sunim here. My pride and joy. Okay? Okay, everyone, take a real good look. Got that? Okay, now switch to the other view where I want people to take a vote. Raise your hands. Who thinks that Xienan Sunim should continue? So that Xienan can see who is voting yes. Switch your other view. No, switch your other view. to all the temples, into temple. Okay, raise your hands, please. No Korean raised his hands. No one in Korea raised their hands. They're all frightened of Xianan. See, she put on her glasses. This is intimidation. Okay, Xianan, take a real close look. Okay, let's zoom in to go to Jewel Conch. Who thinks? Okay, just for the sake of clarity, okay, who among you there thinks that Sinan Sunim should continue? Raise your hand. I counted 5 people, 5 hands. Okay. 3 or 5? I counted 5 hands. Okay, last chance. Raise your hands again. 5 hands, you see? 5 hands. Okay. 6. Okay, 5.5.
Hey, everyone, tomorrow is Christmas.
Okay, switch to JMT. How does your old abbot feel about it?
Con thấy cô Hiền An rất là đẹp và rất là tốt, rất khỏe, cho nên con đề nghị là cổ tiếp tục.
Emitofuo, Master, I saw that Venerable Shin and is very good looking and very well off, so I think that she should continue.
What about the rest of the people at JMT? I'm curious. What is it, you Koreans? We stick together or something? No? Anyone else? Okay, I have 2 people there. Okay. 2. Okay. Anyone else? Last chance. God, the Koreans are just incorrigible. They always band together against Americans. Okay, how about you Koreans here? A 100 people raised hands. In America, that 100 is counting all the online people. Let's go to DTT. I want to see DTT. Yeah, see? It's unanimous in America. Okay, look at that. No, that's Xian Miao. Zoom into DTT and see who's on your 3 people, look at that. All the Go First people voting to continue. Okay, and the decision is clear, isn't it? We're democratic as a body. So Sinan, continue. She looks so happy. She's crying. She's going to cry next. Okay, just to make it more challenging, do like 20 days. Yeah, do 20 days. You can handle 20 days easily. Okay? Check Yeon. Make sure she does 20 days. Okay, very good. Any other questions? How else can we help you? And don't quit when it comes 20 days and we talk again. Okay. Okay. And so going back to slide 105, the Dharma is said to be free from desire. Okay? And therefore, what does it mean? It's not clear to you, but it seems to me, it seems to imply that the person who speaks the Buddha Dharma should be free from desire. All right? 106. When your own mind takes refuge with the pure, your self-nature is not stained by attachment to any state of defilement, desire, or love. That is called the honored among the multitudes.
自心归依境，一切尘劳爱欲境界，自心皆不染着，民众中尊。
Okay. The pure here, 107, the pure here refers to the Sangha. The Sangha is a body of cultivators who live in purity. Okay? So we have a lot of rules, a lot of things we do to help us increase our purity. All right? And along the way, we will learn to not be attached to any state. Okay? Not just of defilement, any state. In particular, of defilement first. Okay? Desire or love. All right? So, keep it in mind that the Buddhist disciples nowadays, they judge the Sangha by their by various aspects. Each culture looks at different things, but in general, the Sangha is judged by these characteristics: attachment to states of defilement, level desires, and love. All right? It's not about how good looking, how ugly looking, or how short, how tall, and so forth. It's not that important. Okay? And that's how you become the honored among the multitudes. Because for the average person, we have attachment to states of defilements, we have desires, and we have love. Questions? All right. 108. If you cultivate this practice, you take refuge with yourself.
若修此行，是自归依。
Okay. And the Patriarch further elaborates. He says, the kind of practice I'm teaching you here, okay, taking refuge with the triple jewel of the self-nature, then this practice here I'm teaching you is about taking refuge with yourself, your self-nature. 110. Common people do not understand, and so from morning till night they take the triple refuge precepts. They say they take refuge with the Buddha, but where is the Buddha? If they cannot see the Buddha, so how can they take refuge? Such talk is absurd.
凡夫不会从日至夜受三归戒，若言皈依佛，佛在何处？若不见佛，凭何所归？言却成妄。
Okay, so 111 commentary. Master Huineng says, ordinary people fail to understand. That's why when they take refuge with, typically when people are taught to take refuge, they say they take refuge with the Buddha, but they can't see the Buddha at all. So how can they take refuge? And the master, the patriarch says that's nonsense. That's not the proper way. Good no advisors, each of you examine yourself. Do not make wrong use of the mind. The Avatamsaka Sutra clearly states that you should take refuge with your own Buddha, not with some other Buddha.
善知识各自观察，莫错用心。经文分明言自皈依佛，不言皈依他佛。
Okay, commentary. He says, for those people here who says, I can't see Buddha, I can't see God, I can't see Shiva, whatever, so how can I possibly, who am I taking refuge with? Air? Space? Or what? He says, you should not think like that, okay? Each of you should look at yourselves and do not think like that. 做用心, do not think erroneously like that, okay? Because from the Avatamsaka Sutra, the highest level of Buddhist wisdom that the Buddha explained to us, shared with us, it states that you should take refuge with your own Buddha, okay? Not with some other Buddha. So that's the unspoken part of the three refuges that we give to our people, to our Buddhist followers. When we tell them to teach them to take refuge with a triple jewel as some sort of distant Buddha somewhere, or the Dharma and so forth, and then Sangha and so forth. Actually, in doing so, we actually are guiding you to take refuge with the triple jewel of the self-nature. That's what the 6th Patriarch is saying. Okay? So that's why he wants to tell us that if you understand it now, this way, then you're much further along. You don't have to wait until much later for you to get a high level to understand this, to see it yourself. Okay? Yes, 9.
Emitofuo Master, it's still I feel like it's we don't know the Buddha. What is the Buddha nature in ourselves, right? All I can see in myself is my personality, desires, all those things.
Right.
So how do we connect the dots?
This is where you need to have faith in a teacher. A teacher, a good no advisor, as we call it in Mahayana, is someone who's supposed to help you develop your wisdom. Okay? In order to help you develop your wisdom, he has to teach you things you don't know. You cannot possibly understand. And all you can do is pray that he's not wrong. If he's wrong, you are SOL. That's life. Huh? Very much like we work so hard our entire lives, save so much money, and then we put it into a financial advisor and says, invest my money, my retirement money for me. And the advisor messes up. Tough luck. Your future is doomed. Okay? Same thing here. And this is why Mahayana, we know that. That's why we have the Patriarch system. So that if you're smart and wise, okay, you follow patriarchs. Don't follow the other non-patriarchs. The patriarch should be your reference points. Doesn't matter. This is why the Chinese Mahayana is so superior to any other culture of recent memory, because they have this clear delineation of what is proper, what is safe for you to go, whereas in other countries, we don't have that. Until recently, was the case in China, but not anymore. It's not available in Taiwan, not available in Japan, you name it. Only in China. Okay? Yes, 7.
Thank you, Master. I appreciate your stock analogy. I have a story to share. When I was first moving to California, I had very little money, but I knew I had to make a move for my life. And I had a small amount of savings that my financial advisor told me, well, if you might need the money, you should just cash this out. This was 2011, and it was $4,000 in Apple stock. Turned out I never needed to touch that $4,000. I got a job 3 days after I showed up in California. And I did the math recently. Uh-huh. The $4,000.
How much are you worth nowadays?
2011, we worth about $150,000 now.
Wow. You married already, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Jeannie thought I should share this story.
That's cute.
I think it was completely and totally worth it, because making that decision helped me get to California, where I encountered you, Master. So it was the right decision for me. Thank you.
But it's still not the best yet. You have to find a patriarch. Don't settle for anything less than a patriarch. Okay? Ultimately, you want to be safe. Okay? Until you become enlightened, you want to be safe. That's my advice to you. You may, enjoy the jokes and, the BS and all the things, and the entertainment, but you have to be safe, because it's your future we're talking about. I would stick with patriarchs first until I am enlightened. That's why we're very lucky. I found an enlightened patriarch, a very high-level enlightenment patriarch. That's why I stuck with him. No one can replace him. Couldn't find anyone else. Okay? So what I had was stuck with his teachings. He's no longer teaching me personally, but I follow his teachings. So that's my safe path. Yes, sir. In the back. 3.
Thank you, Master. I think the same as Peter, and I think after Master, it's Amitabha Buddha.
Again, okay. Don't go blindly like that. Yeah. What I recommend to you is that since there's no second patriarch right now that you know of, there's the one, but he's not revealing himself. So what you ought to do is, I were you, I would listen to Master YongHua's teachings first as a reference point. Okay? Don't take chances like that with your life. Yes, sir, in the back.
Master, speaking about Amitabha Buddha, tomorrow is our celebration of Amitabha Buddha birthday at Blue Mountain Temple.
Okay, tomorrow there is a celebration, Dharma Assembly at Blue Mountain Temple. Please, all you're all welcome to join us and create affinities with the Buddha. Okay? And maybe the Buddha will know about you, and then he will guide you. Okay? Here's what happens. When I decided to attach myself to Master YongHua, and he died, and then I had no one else. His disciples, couldn't measure up, and the other teachers I looked at didn't add up. So I depended upon his teachings. Okay? And so when I was in trouble and I was confused, I would open his tapes and listen to it, or read the translations of his teachings. That's the safe path for me. And that's tremendously helpful. I didn't have to, when I was meditating, practicing, on my own, the thought that there's not even once ever certain thoughts that would arise and said, is he wrong? Or is he for real? Can I trust this teaching? Never ever. So it's very simple for me. Okay? It's like right there, he says, endure, I endure. He says, don't lie, I don't lie. Okay? He says, don't fight, I fight a little. But then I repent. Okay, and so forth. It's so much easier. So what he did is he delineated a path. He created a path for me to go. So I kept on going until I said, oh, wow, it is so fantastic. Okay, so I urge you to do the same, because he's a patriarch. I'm not a patriarch. I appreciate you saying, oh, Master, I believe in Master and so forth. Don't believe me yet. Should believe him more. Until you become enlightened, and then maybe you can re-examine. But until then, he's a lot safer. I'm serious. Okay? Until you reach fourth stage Arhat or higher, you should be very careful. It's so easy to get into trouble. And what Master YongHua did for all of us, for Mahayana in America, he set the foundation. Okay? He's created pathways that's very safe for everyone. He did such a good job, a great job, that the current one cannot do better. That's why he said, I'm not going to do anything, because I'm simply cannot measure up. Okay? So he's actually doing a good thing. From that perspective, he says, don't get confused. I'm telling you the same thing. He's not saying it, so I'm saying it for you. Don't trust me. Trust Master YongHua first until you become enlightened. That's my advice to you. Okay? 7. So you should definitely go look at Master YongHua stuff in English and and whatever you can find, put your hands on. Okay, it's very good.
Thank you, Master. I recognize that Buddhism in America is still very young compared to China, and the patriarch system, I'm still learning about it every day, thanks to your commentaries. You mentioned that patriarchs happen like every 30 years or so in a previous lecture, but could you speak a little bit more to is there a schedule or like a planned timeline where one patriarch, not like a presidency where it's every 4 years per se, but is it, every so many decades, one patriarch steps down, another patriarch steps in? How does it work?
I'm not sure myself because I came later and I'm not a patriarch, and therefore I'm making commentaries just from my own observation. But you should not take it like the Bible. Consider it as a Bible. The patriarchs, as I've been teaching here, and I ran into a lot of issues about what to teach, what not to teach. If I disagree with Master YongHua, what am I supposed to do with it? You know, what do I need to do to make sure you don't get confused? And that's why I finally, understood that patriarchs' jobs are, to make sure that you have a safe pathway towards enlightenment. That's my understanding. So I know that because I saw how his disciples became enlightened. And then when he then told me, he declared that they'll be guiding us, and I found them not to be helpful at all. I'm very bitter about it, unhappy about it. But actually, it's only because they cannot find a better pathway than Master YongHua has set for us. So therefore, they simply repeat what he said, okay, to the best of their understandings. Okay, and so the first rule of patriarchs is that they set a safe area for you. The Master YongHua did a lot more than that. For example, Master Xu Yun, he is a patriarch, Chan patriarch for all the 5 Chan schools in China. That's how skilled he was. Okay, so you know, because he's a patriarch, you follow his teachings, you reach enlightenment. It's safe grounds, safe pathways. Okay, but Master YongHua did a much better job delineating a pathway that's wider, much more detailed, okay, much faster speed than Master Xu Yun. So the patriarchs differ. They're not all the same. But the first rule of thumb is they're supposed to be safe for you to follow their teachings. You cannot go wrong. And let's face it, I'm no patriarch, therefore I'm wrong. I'm wrong more often than you realize. That's life. Okay? You spend your time hanging around a non-patriarch, that's what you're gonna have to bear. Okay? And so when I started teaching, because he told me to, I found myself disagreeing with 5 different places of his teaching. So all his 50 years of teaching, I disagree with 5. That's how brainwashed I was. Okay? Yeah. Because I'm really a Master YongHua's boy, fanboy, if you will. He's my idol, period. So that's why I urge you, you cannot go wrong. Okay? So I use the same teaching to train the first years. Miguel, remember? Blue Mountain Temple. Okay? I'm basically regurgitating Master YongHua, elaborate a little bit on what he said. And that brought many of you very, very far. Okay? And so that's why the first rule of thumb is you need to reach enlightenment. Once you reach enlightenment, you're safe. Then you can take chances. That's my advice to you. Okay? I can never replace Master YongHua's teachings. I build on top of him because he's pretty good. Okay? So now, because the 2nd Patriarch is not surfacing. And my disciples are higher level than them, than Master Hsu's disciples. So I have to do something myself. So I'm doing things that may be unorthodox, different, okay? But fundamentally, okay, the base is still the same. I'm building more foundation on top of it so that they can go higher. But there's we share the same foundation. All right? And in the future, the third patriarch will come and he'll decide what to do with it, okay? With all this. He may say that, he might create his own pathways because each generation is different, okay? My generation is simpler, so Master Hsuan felt that's all that was needed for his close followers was that pathway, okay? It's good enough for me, okay? But my problem right now is I need to continue to develop talent for your generation, okay? So that in the future, maybe the third patriarch will find different dharmas, better dharmas to help you. It's up to you. The patriarchs are not, by the way, the patriarchs are not everything. The patriarch's first job, again, is safety. We need to bring you to enlightenment, okay? But then, because patriarchs have different levels, they're not all the same levels. Master YongHua is an extraordinary monk because he has to bring a lot of Chinese Mahayana to America. So he needs to understand Chinese Mahayana very, very well for him to bring it over, okay? And teach his initial followers. And so, but before him, Master Xu Yun, for example, his task as a patriarch was not as complicated. Master Xu Yun primarily was building temples, fixing temples, because there's no need to train people. You couldn't train people. Didn't have to train people. That's why Master YongHua practiced outside of Master Xu Yun. Never needed Master Xu Yun at all. Okay? So that's why you see patriarchs are not supposed to do everything either. But it's meant to be a safe grounds for you. So that's your reference points. Okay? But Mahayana is a lot more than just patriarchs. But one step at a time. You first become enlightened, then you understand. And it's easier to teach you. Until then, be safe. Okay? Until you're certified to be enlightened, don't take chances. Not worth it. Not to me. Okay? All right. Does it help? I can't speak much about patriarch because I'm no patriarch. So what do I know? And you shouldn't believe me anyway. Believe it when a patriarch explains it to you. Any other questions? Okay. And it's very important. There's impressive that this community here. That's the term I picked up from vegetables. Okay. She came from a different community. And so what we have here is a very special community of all of you, different levels, different backgrounds, different interests, and you are incredibly talented and well-grounded. It's very impressive, all of you. And it's very nice because I see people that you are naturally progressing towards enlightenment or are enlightened already. So it's a fantastic opportunity. This is very important because back then in China, or under Master Hsuanhua's tutelage, they were practicing under Master Hsuanhua. Therefore, they have this community under Master Hsuanhua that they could have guidance from him. And for example, there's a monk, American monk, who, when Master Hsuanhua started accepting monk disciples, and they were poor, and they were bunched up together in Chinatown, San Francisco. So they live in bunches, okay, very, very crowded. And so Master Hsuanhua would have all of them living together. At night, they sleep in the Buddha hall. One side is women, the other side is men. Okay? And so they can look at each other. Okay. And so they related this nun here, who's now a senior nun in Master Hsuanhua's community. And she would go, she was sleeping, sleeping. So everyone sits sleeping. They're very tough. And unlike you right now, I don't require you to sit sleep anymore because you're weak. Okay? But they all sit sleeping. And so this nun here, and she was sitting, okay, and meditating, and then she fell asleep, so they start leaning to the left, okay, leaning to the left like this, and then she wakes up, and she pulls up again, okay, and then pretty soon she falls asleep again, and then she leans to the right. So she was a windshield wipers. That's her nickname. And so. So they have this good community. That's why they have a very strong foundation, and they're very excited and gung-ho about Mahayana and supporting Master Hsuanhua. And the only knock I have is that he didn't train the women enough. To me, that sucks. That's why I disagree with him. Chinese Mahayana, they prefer monks. Okay, so they train monks. They don't train nuns. You go to Hinayana, there's no nuns. My Thai friend, First Tejahat, he doesn't accept the nun disciples. Okay, so to me that's weird. It's really, really weird. Yes, 6.
Master, what would be the reason that discrimination between men and women?
Because I don't know, because I'm not Chinese, okay? I'm not Indian either, so I don't have the background to understand. But one reason, there are a few reasons. One reason is that when the monks and nuns speak Dharma, the disciples prefer to hear from a monk. For some reason, I don't get it. Is that true in Korea, in your countries? Huh? The Buddhist disciples prefer to hear the Dharma from a monk. Yes or no? So that's why the monks prefer their successors to be monks, but they aren't always able to find monk disciples who are good enough, so they leave the temples to the nuns. Yeah, that's one reason. Number 2 reason is that the Buddha said the Dharma depends on the monks for transmission. Okay? If you take that on the strict sense, you translate it in the strict sense, you depend on the monk for transmission. I don't happen to translate the same way. 法以生传, I look at it as the Dharma needs a Sangha for the transmission. So that's why my approach is different. I disagree with the fact that because I don't have a lot of monks. Okay? It's kind of funny. The smart men stay away from us. They would never leave the home life. Okay? If they're successful, they're rich, they're famous, they're not going to be anywhere near us. Okay? But the smart women want to become nuns. Because they said, I ain't going to take it from the stupid men. Okay? Who try to run my life. Sound familiar? Huh? See? So there's an imbalance in the Sangha. Smart women are nuns. Not smart men are monks. So we're going to depend on not smart men for the transmission. We're going to be in big trouble. But it's not quite true. After you become enlightened, naturally you become smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. Okay? So it's equal opportunity. After you reach enlightenment, for some reason, you become smarter and faster and smarter and faster and smarter and faster, naturally. So men then will catch up with women. Praise the Lord. Okay? But it takes too long for them to catch up. So that's why I don't have a whole lot of time, okay, left. My master dies at the age of 74. I'm almost there. I can't wait for and so I don't buy into that man and women thing. It turns out after you become enlightened, it's no more gender discrimination. So the system where monks tells nuns what to do. Can you imagine a stupid monk who's not enlightened telling a nun who's enlightened what to do? That's insulting, number one. Number two, you're creating offenses. You should know your place. Yeah? When I was at the city of 10,000 Buddhas, I was practicing, and the young abbot there thought I was a bodhisattva for some reason, because I sat for 16 hours. He could not. So when he heard of it, he walked into my room. Okay, I had a room there. I was preparing to be a teacher at the high school. No interest in becoming a monk. He walked in, and he bowed to me immediately. I was lying because I was hurting. My legs hurt. So painful. Okay, 16 hours, are you crazy? Don't do that. And for the first time. And so I was lying in my bed. This is so comfortable. And then he walked in and knocked on the door, opened the door, and said, he does it to me. And so, you see? And so the wisdom is that when you see a bodhisattva, you want to bow to a bodhisattva because that's how you get blessings. Incredible blessings. That's what the Chinese are taught. Okay? You see that wisdom there? So why do you if they're willing to bow to a man who they think is enlightened, are they willing to bow to a woman who's enlightened or not? Answer is of course. As long as they're enlightened, you get blessings. Who cares? And what if the woman is high, level of enlightenment is higher than the man? Definitely, I would bow to the woman before I bow to the man. Yes? You see? So the sex discrimination in the Chinese system is weird to me. I don't buy it. But since I'm no patriarch, I don't care. I do my way. You don't like it, go back to the patriarchs. Okay? So we're very Americanized. There's no patriarch system here. If you're smart and you're enlightened, I bow to you. I obey you. I don't care who you are. Black, white, women, men, children, can't care less. Ugly, good looking. Yes, 6.
So Master, how about Great Master Shenhua? Was he treated men and women equally?
Apparently not. I was told that the women, I talked to a few nuns there, the women told me they didn't really get taught by Master Shenhua much. But Master Shenhua would tend to teach the men more, and the men's level was higher than the women. When I first looked at them, when I first started teaching, I said, how do I position myself against these people to make sure I don't get in trouble and don't usurp their roles as guardians of the Dharma? Okay, so I had to look at them, say, so this guy here, and so forth, that guy there, and so forth. And the women, I had to look at all the major players. And I realized the men were much higher than the women at that time. So that's why the women were right, that they didn't receive much training at all from Master Shenhua. Okay? Yeah. But then they didn't understand either. That he didn't train the man either. Because the men don't know how to train. Okay, and so he has his role is not to train the next generation. His role is to lay the foundation. Okay, so that's why I disagree with him. I disagree with things, and I'm glad I'm no patriarch. I do as I please. I can't care less. Okay, we're happy to be poor. We're happy to be, not taken seriously. We do our things, and all that matters is you become enlightened. That's all I care about. Okay, and the higher you get, the happier I become. Who cares if you're man or woman? Doesn't matter to me. You can be, you're willing to work, you're willing to be trained, I will help you. That's what I care about. All right? Lay people, left form people, I see no difference either. I can't care less. The difference though is that I can push you so far and then you start biting back. Okay? He said, don't forget who gave you your red car. And okay. But them people, the monks and nuns, I abuse them more. Okay? It's much tougher for them. All right, that's how they go. Then they can catch up a lot quicker. All right, any final questions? So I start by saying I disagree 5 things, and it grew to 6, and then to 7, and then 8. And I said, I don't worry about him anymore. Yes, 7.
Thank you. So I would just like to say thank you for having me. Really good time here, and I appreciate the support that I got from everybody and the inspiration. So I hope my blessings allow me to come many, many more times. Thank you.
You're leaving tomorrow, huh? Going back to Portugal. I see. Well, that's a long way. And thank you for coming. And I'm glad that you could make it. Especially now you have a family, 2 kids? 3? 2 or 3? 2 kids. You plan to have 4 at all? The quota is 4, you know?
Not at my level, Master.
See, men don't listen to me. Women do. But come back, huh? All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night.